Okay, so today we're going to talk about Module 4, Lesson 6. This is about solving percent problems. So we're going to look at some very specific types of percent problems. These are practical in chemistry classes, physics classes. You'll see this kind of thing from time to time in those for sure. And we're going to use a proportion to solve it. And the proportions we worked with last time is where we have a fraction that's equal to another fraction. And our formula is going to look something like this. It's going to be our percent over 100 is going to be equal to this thing we call the amount over this thing we call the base. And I'll tell you how to identify those numbers in the problem as we go. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to look for the word is, and the number that comes right after the is going to be the amount, and then we're going to look for the word of, and the number that comes right after the of is going to be our base. So it's going to be pretty easy to identify, and finding the percent is pretty easy because we'll have a percent sign in there somewhere. So let's look at some examples of what these kinds of problems look like. So our first one, let's do okay, so the question that I'm asking you here is 30% of what number is 60? Okay, so when I'm going to try to put into this formula, I just want to figure out what my percent, what my amount, and what my base are going to be for this problem. And I'm usually only going to have two of those. One of them will be an unknown that I'm looking for, so one of them will be an x. So in this case, my percent, pretty easy to identify because it's got the percent sign here. So we've got 30 over 100 equals... you'll notice the word of here. Of what number? I don't know that number, so that's going to be my x, and that is right after the word of, so that is going to be my base in this problem. So I'm going to have an x on the bottom. You'll notice over here we have the word is 60. 60 is going to be my amount. It's going to go on top. I know that because of the word is there, and that's my proportion. And now we're going to solve it just like we did in the last lesson. We're just going to cross multiply. We're going to set those cross products equal to each other. So 30 times x is 30x. 100 times 60, 6,000. Divide by 30 on both sides, and we've got our unknown. Value here. It's 200, and that's the that's the base. We know that because it comes right after the word of in our equation there. Okay, so let's look at another one. So this one says 150% of 270 is what number? So again, we're setting up our formula here. It's the percent over 100 equals the amount over the base. I just kind of remember it as is over of to make it very easy to figure out where to put these numbers in problems like this. So 150 is my percent, so that's going to go up here in the percent spot. So 150 over 100 equals of 270. Okay, that's going to be my full amount, so that's going to go on the bottom. And then is what number? The number that comes right after is unknown. That's going to be my x value. So I'll put that right in there. And then again, solving these things, once you've practiced, should be pretty easy. We're just going to cross multiply and then divide, and we should have it. So 100 times x is 100x. 150 times 270, bigger numbers, but again, we're just going to use our calculator for this, so no big deal. So 40,500 is what I get when I put that in my calculator. And then I just divide by 100 on both sides. Knock a couple zeros off there. And so 405 is going to be my answer. Okay, so these are pretty easy to set up as long as you remember the formula and how to get the right number in the right spot. Okay, so let's do this one next. 5.01 is what percent of 20 is our question here. Okay, so again, we're using the same formula. The percent over 100 equals the amount over the base, or I just like to remember it as is over of to help me identify what numbers go where. Okay, so 5.01 is, so that's going to go on the top over here. What percent? I don't know my percent. So in this particular problem, my percent is my unknown. That's going to go up there. Okay, and then of 20, that 20 is going to go on the bottom here. Okay, Numbers a little messier here. We're going to be dealing with a lot of decimals in this module, so you don't want to worry too much about that. Just we're going to use the calculator for this calculation. So we're going to go this way. So 20 times x is 20x. Going to go across this way. 5.01 times 100 is 501. Okay, we're going to divide by 20. And then again, this is going to be, try to do this by hand. It would be messy, but that's not what this is about. We're just going to do the 501 divided by 20 right in our calculator, and that'll give us 25.05. Don't forget to come back and put the percent sign on this answer, because we are looking for a percent. They do it for you in MyMathLab, but it is important to realize that you are finding a percentage value here. Okay, so let's do one more with a few more decimals in it. Again, there's a lot of decimals in some of these problems, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to use the calculator for these calculations anyway. So don't let that mess you up. Again, we're going to use the same formula. X over 100 equals my base over my amount, or my is over my of here. Okay, so we're setting this up. I don't know why I put an X there. It should be the percent over 100 equals is over of. So my percent is 4.6, so we'll put that on top. And then my is, the 5.29 is with the is, so we'll put that on top over here. Of what number? Don't know that one. That's my unknown, so that X is going to go on the bottom. And again, these numbers are kind of messy if we were to have to do them by hand, but we're not. That's not what this lesson's about. So we're just going to do these calculations in our calculator. No big deal. Just divide by 4.6. Get rid of those. Put this in our calculator. Sometimes you'll have to round, but this one comes out nice and even at 115. That's what we're looking for there. Okay, so there's a lot of problems in this lesson, but they're all very, very similar to those questions that we've done. It's a lot of repetition, and so you really want to have this down. Shows it's going to probably be a significant portion of the test. So let me know if you have any questions, and y'all have a nice day.